Friends, today's NRI Samay program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free. This is a live show and our guest will be happy to answer any of your questions. If you have a question for the guest, please leave a message on the chat window on nrisamay.com/live. Thank you for your support.
Friends, welcome back to Samay. This is Srihari, your host for today's show. Today we are going to discuss about NRIs participation in Indian politics. In general, when we say politics, especially Indian politics, they are looked as dirty, and even people in India, they are turned off because of the ugly nature of the politics in general. But the fact is, we don't have an option. We cannot say we're not involved in politics, is what some people believe. And we have such people not only believing, but they're taking action, and they're getting their hands dirty also. So we want to listen from them, what motivates them and what specific things they are doing which can make some difference in Indian politics. So today we have with us Kiran Tummala. He is from NRI TDP. And he's from Texas, and he's doing a lot of work for Telugu Desam Party in Andhra Pradesh. We have Rashmi Srivastava. She's from I think she's also from Texas. She's working from Aam Admi Party. She's a volunteer, and she has done work in RTI sessions. Then she has fought in anti-corruption movements and so forth. Then we have Sravanthi Yalamanchili. She's from Chicago, and she's an active volunteer in People for Loksatta, a Loksatta Party supporting organization, and she has worked for NRI voting rights, anti-corruption campaigns, and currently she is volunteering for 2 NRIs who returned to India recently, and they are expecting to contest next elections. They are Dilip for Malkazgiri and Haima for Sanat Nagar. Welcome to you all. By the way, we are waiting for Dinesh from overseas supporters of BJP, overseas friends of BJP. We have also invited Congress and TRS, but the show was put very late, so we couldn't even get all of them on this call. So welcome to you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Srihari. And namaste to everyone.
Great. Okay, let me start off by asking Rashmi. You guys have a convention coming up, right? Aam Admi Party convention. Can you briefly tell what's it about?
Yeah, we are having a national convention of AAP USA on 18th of May at Chicago. And I think more than 200 volunteers are going to gather there. And it will send a strong message to everyone across the globe that what AAP has made an impact on NRIs and how NRIs are contributing. So it is mainly to reach to more and more people to create awareness about Aam Admi Party. And also we'll have guests, our core team members like Arvind Kejriwal will join us on video conference. Then we'll have Dr. Yogendra Yadav and Dr. Kumar Vishwas will be mainly speaking on the solutions like decentralization of power and also on motivating the NRIs. So this is what is planned. We'll focus on voters registration and RTI clinics, how we can provide solutions being here to India as well as to people, to NRIs across the globe through RTIs and voters registration.
I see. That's so the question, I think the first question anybody will ask is why have a convention in US or in any foreign country? Why not in India? So maybe Sravanthi can tell a little bit about this too, because they recently had People for Loksatta convention, the nationwide US convention. So can you tell what specific things that people in US can do Sravanthi?
Sure, Srihari. Actually, most people think that NRIs, they just mean never returning Indians or non-returning Indians. This is a big misconception that most people have. And I would like to thank NRI Samay, Srihari and Srikant for giving us this opportunity to, in fact, address this issue. Actually, NRIs are Indians, we are just non-resident Indians, which means we are Indians who are residing in some other country but not India. So, we have equal duty for our country just like any other Indians. And also, being in a different country, we have this opportunity to juxtapose between, a different country and in India. For example, here, I live in US in Chicago, and here we have a 24/7 power supply. There are no power cuts. And then there's 24/7 water supply. But if you look at India, right now, I hear from most of my friends in India, they have to wait for 4 days in order to get water. That's the situation in Hyderabad right now. And 14 hours power cuts. And they have to wait for 45 hours, in the traffic jams. So, we get to juxtapose, the situations. And whenever we think about how the situation here in US or in any other country versus India, the natural interest in politics develops, because this is the and also for welfare organizations and stuff like that. So this comes to us very naturally. And like you asked, what we can do from here is anything that can be done remotely, because right now the technology is so much that we can do a lot of things. For example, for people for Loksatta and Loksatta volunteers, we have, done Lokpal campaign in 2011, which is calling out the MPs and bringing awareness about Lokpal. Because by then, most of the MPs did not even, when we called the MPs, they did not even have a knowledge about Lokpal bill. So we called them and invited them to participate in the discussions of the Lokpal. Then we run SMS campaigns about different kinds of awareness. Then we did Dandi March, which is again, awareness measure, and and also bringing awareness about NRI voting rights, which is a very important thing for the NRIs. And also, if speaking about the things for India, development measures for India, so creating leaders is one of the main things in our agenda, which is so far we have a couple of leaders NRI leaders who went back to India to serve in Indian politics, because the knowledge and experience we gain here in a different country will be very much in handy and will be very much useful in order to promote Indian democracy. And then in addition, we also participate in fundraising drives, and also we have this project called Constituency Promotion Project, where we coordinate, we select different constituencies and we promote different leaders by publicizing them and bringing them to light. So these are some of the activities we do.
Okay, that's excellent. We'll talk more about some of those things, but quickly tell me, all the things that you just mentioned, can somebody do them in India itself rather than doing it from here? The reason I ask is when you look at the number of people involved from NRI community, it's probably 0.00%, or minuscule, right, in comparison with the population we have in India. So tell me, can these things be done in India, or why it has to be done from here?
Sure, Srihari. These kind of things can be done in India as well. But if you look at the awareness, like I've told before, we as NRIs, we get a chance to juxtapose what's happening in US versus in India. Because in India, we are used to maneuver things. For example, if the traffic is bad, we think, okay, the traffic is bad, let me take a different route. Or if the water is not, the water supply is not proper, we are used to, or we are forced to be victimized for that situations. But here, being in US or being in a different country and seeing the way things work and then comparing with India, we automatically get an awareness. And this kind of awareness is present in India as well. And, if you see today's young generation, they are very much aware, but this is not enough. So, definitely we have a little bit advantage over people living in India, which is this global awareness. So, with this, I think, it becomes the responsibility of every NRI also to educate people in India, and that is what we are trying to do.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. Among others, we focus on stories of need for equality, inspiration, environment, health, and politics. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and thus our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Please consider donating to NRI Samay, and all donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com.
Okay, excellent. I think we have Dinesh also on the call. He is from overseas.
Yeah,
of BJP.
I just joined. Yes.
Okay, great. So welcome to the show, Dinesh.
Okay, this is my first time. I don't know. Could you please give me a little bit about this show, what this show is all about, and who are the listeners, in which part of the country, how does it work?
Yeah, actually we are on a live show right now, so we have listeners listening to this from anywhere in the world because this is an online show. Anybody who are on nrisamay.com, they can listen to this. They are actually listening to us right now. And there is also a chat on nrisamay.com where they can enter the questions. And if you get questions, we'll ask those questions to one of you. Then right now we are discussing about NRI's participation in Indian politics. And I just gave a brief introduction before you joined. The reason for the discussion is that in general the perception of NRIs is they are working some in software or they are in a business and they are far off from the country. They don't understand what's going on in India. Things like, and they visit once in a while and they go off, they show off, and then they go back to US or wherever they are. So, but you guys have taken a different path in politics, and you are trying to do something from here. And that's why we want to bring awareness to this side of the NRIs. So Dinesh, I hope that gives some background, but I want to get back to you once I talk to Kiran. Kiran Tummala, he is from Texas and he is supporting TDP. Kiran, I think you guys did some support activities for Chandrababu Naidu's walkathon, right? He did I think 3,000 or 2,000 kilometers walk.
2,800 something.
Can you tell what specifically you have done from US and why it is important for you to do?
A role of NRI has been evolving a lot in Indian politics. It's been existing for a long time. If you look at some of the major MPs from Nizamabad, like Atmasaran Reddy or Madhu Jaski, they were from the United States and they went back and they went into active politics and they did reasonably good. Let's put it that way. But what is the role of Kiran when it comes to the Padayatra and all? I said this is just to do a solitary support, saying that a leader is going for a long trip and he's talking to the people, he's knowing what the people's problems are. It's not like this is the first time he has been doing it. He did a similar act some 35 years back when he started into politics. I said the best way to get into the politics is to know the people, to know their issues, to understand what their issues are and make sure that those issues are addressed in a proper way. So Chandrababu Naidu has taken another instance. He has fought in all sorts of things. He protested in assembly. He protested with the newspapers. He went all the way to the Delhi to represent to the Prime Minister and the President, saying that the state government is totally corrupt, which needs to be controlled, which needs to be eradicated and all that. But nobody has taken action until their favorite gooses were in power. So now he doesn't have any option, but he has to go to the public and say, you know what, when we were in government, we were doing this, and this is what is happening right now, and these are the issues which we have, and this is how I would resolve them. So he went back to the people, and he was talking to the people. It's like pure democracy. It's for the people, to the people, and by the people. So TDP, Chandrababu Naidu has to get into the people and make sure that his thoughts are properly heard. And from NRI's perspective, what we think is we have a different perspective because we have seen what's happening in India, and we also have seen what is happening in the United States. For example, here, to get your driving license, you don't have to pay 300 rupees. While in India, you can pay 300 rupees and you can get your driving license. And let's say a driving license is to a truck driver is nothing but a moving bomb. He can hit on anyone, he can kill anyone, and we don't understand that. We need to work on it. So the role of NRIs have to be very sharp, and we need to balance ourselves too. Like you said, when we go to India, we just show off and say we have a big Lexus car, we have a big house, we have our jobs are good and everything, but we never tell them what our duties are. We never tell them that we have to go to office on time, we have to meet our deadlines. We slog here. That's something which we never tell them. We give them all the rosy picture. When we give a rosy picture, what they are thinking is, oh, you know what? These people are preaching. They don't do anything. They just preach, which is a wrong concept, which is something which needs to be changed among NRIs. Whenever they're going back home, tell them the real picture, saying that like this is how we struggle, this is what we do, this is what we get, and if we have a just government in India, we could get all that back in India too. Like here, every community has a couple of tennis grounds and sports facilities, education facilities are good. Your education is free until your 10 plus 2 or 12th grade, which is all something which we can afford in India too. And all we need to do is make sure that the government is doing it in a proper way. Like I said, the administration is proper. And like I said, I can't say corruption will be totally eradicated in India, because corruption is nothing but our want. Everyone wants to grow, and that's where the corruption came in. Corruption is I myself, and me. Those are the three things which are driving the corruption. I want my work to be done. My work has to be done first, and myself is more important than anybody else. That's where you say, oh, you know what? I need something done. That's when you start paying money and you start using your power and all that. Those things need to be changed, but those changes are not, let's say, in a feudalistic nation like India. Let's say we call it democratic India, but let's say we all, at the end of the day, we all follow the same thing. Saying that like, oh, you know what, Sonia Gandhi's son can become prime minister, Sonia Gandhi's grandson can become prime minister, and all that. We have that feudal mentality because we've been slaves for about 2,000, 3,000 years, and the change is not overnight. But the leaders are evolving. There are lots of new leaders which are coming in who can speak better, who can think better. But all we need to do is support them and make sure that they are in the right direction. That's our involvement.
Excellent.
From United States.
I want to go to Dinesh quickly, and I actually got a message saying that his phone might be dying soon, so I want to give some time to Dinesh. Dinesh, can you tell when you are the ex-president of Overseas Friends of BJP, and I think you are an advisor now, when you talk to the NRIs or to your audience, how are they responding to you? Are they do they want to participate in politics, or do they want to stay away? What's your experience like?
Okay, first let me give you a little bit background and what Overseas Friends of BJP has been doing, because all the other participants also doing a little bit about their organization. So Overseas Friends of BJP, by the way, my full name is Dinesh Agarwal. I am a professor here in the University of Pennsylvania, and I have been here in this country for almost 40 years. So Overseas Friends of BJP was founded in 1992. And at that time, the purpose was, because if you remember, that was the time when this Ayodhya movement was at its peak. And there was a lot of misinformation and wrong information and very bad representation of BJP in this country. So at that time, we founded it to correct the image of BJP and give the actual and factual information what was going on in India. So the main purpose of Overseas Friends of BJP has been to work towards the projecting a positive and correct image of India and its people in the US and other media and so on. And also to develop a cordial relationship between Indians and North American people and so on. And for that purpose, we have been doing many kinds of activities. We have chapters in about 20-25 states, and we have a national organization, and we arrange talks, seminars, symposia, press conferences, press releases, and a lot of public meetings whenever some, the leader from India comes here. and we also have our website. And actually, we were the first people who started a website for BJP. BJP was the first political party in Asia, and Overseas Friends of BJP started the website for BJP in 1996. That was, was a big news in many Indian newspapers at that time. So we do all these kinds of activities to, correct India's image here, as well as give the correct information about BJP policies. And recently, currently, we have been very, very active in projecting, as it has been having in India also, projecting Narendra Modi as the future Prime Minister, and how it can be done, and how we can help from here to make it reality in India. So a lot of our people, they go to India and they try to convince everybody, and they get a lot of positive feedback in India as well as here. Here is, tremendous support for Narendra Modi. And if you remember that when there was, they disinvite Narendra Modi from Wharton College in UPenn, then after 2 weeks, Narendra Modi addressed through Overseas Friends of BJP platform to entire NRI community in both US and Canada. And about 2 million people, they were glued to their TV at that time. And in India also, about 30 channels, they gave the live coverage of Narendra Modi's speech. And we were the key person doing that. And tomorrow also the same thing is happening in 14 cities in US to celebrate the Gujarat Foundation Day, and Narendra Modi is addressing 14 cities simultaneously from India. So what we are doing, we are helping the India in general, how India can develop all around. All progress can be done, and we believe that BJP is the right party and Narendra Modi is the right leader. In the Narendra Modi's leadership, in 2014 elections, NDA will come into power, and then all these things which you just heard from two other participants, what is wrong in India, corruption, Mahanga, and all those kinds of things. So those can be solved under the leadership of Narendra Modi. So that subject we have been talking with many NRIs, and overwhelming support, almost 90% of these NRIs, they are positive about it, and they ask us what can we do to help Narendra Modi become Prime Minister. So a lot of people want to participate in this activity. And I am sure when the election comes, we may go from here a big delegation or big group of several hundred people to campaign in India to make sure that Narendra Modi gets enough seats to become the Prime Minister.
Right.
So I think that is my kind of introductory speech.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh Agarwal ji. I want to go back to Rashmi Srivastava about the role of AAP USA in forming. What specifically you guys are doing? Are you trying to raise funds, or are you trying to contribute to the strategy of the party or their policies, or are you going back and joining active politics? Can you tell us specifically what exactly you guys are doing?
Yeah, Srihari. First of all, like other panelists, I would also like to say that why I am attached to this particular party. Okay. See, before 1947, we were being ruled by Britishers. And after 1947, we are being ruled by politicians, bureaucrats, isn't it? They pass a law that they want, not what the public want. We have seen in case of Jal Andolan, Jan Andolan, Jan Lokpal. They allot funds to what they think is important, irrespective of the places. We have seen that they have passed lakhs of money for water collection bodies, but where even the flood-prone areas. So we need, and we have seen that it has failed in years, isn't it? Today we do not have affordable access to good health, good education and justice to middle class, to lower class, and even to higher middle class, isn't it? So we want a participatory democracy where if I'm a software engineer or if I'm a doctor or a politician or anything in my life, I should have an access to participate in decision making. If I think a bill is important for the nation, for a particular community, I should have a mechanism where I can file for it, where I can go for it. I should have a mechanism to hold my MLAs, MPs accountable if they are not doing what needs to be done or if they are doing anything wrong. And I should have the right to decide about the decisions of my mohalla, my gram. Like today government decides whether I need 1 street light or 10 street lights. Whether I need a yellow light or a white light, I should be deciding it for my mohalla, isn't it? I'm a better person to let them know that, okay, this is the requirement of my mohalla, of my gram. But today it is not happening. And that is why instead of the party being responsible for the people, it is responsible for the party leader. So that is what I, as a normal person, as an Aam Admi, is supporting Aam Admi Party. And secondly, you know what? We have seen India as a country has degraded a lot on moral standards. Other panelists also said this. So we need a mass awakening. And the leaders of Aam Admi Party are doing it very effectively. So
can you expand a little bit more when you said the morally degrading part? What exactly do you mean? Because it's a lot of subjectivity there.
Yeah, exactly. See, every day we read newspaper. What we see a news of a scam, of a new corruption. Even we see a lot of news about rapes across the country. A lot of rape cases. Besides rape cases, a lot of murder, kidnapping cases. And corruption at the education level, at the medical level, every level you will see corruption. So we cannot hold only politicians responsible for it. Corruption has gone deep into our roots. We have degraded as a person, on moral grounds. So I think we also, like one more example I can say that before 2 years I never used to read any article related to politics. I used to think that it is dirty, I should be away from it. But now I think, no, it is my responsibility. Politics of my country is my responsibility. I need to participate in it. I need to be an active volunteer for it. So a lot of mass awakening or a citizen's participation is required if we want really a better India.
Right.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask about...
Yeah. And you wanted to know that what we are doing. Yeah. You wanted to know that what we are doing as volunteers. We try to leverage some of the tasks of Aam Admi core team. Like we take up software development work, online support work. Recently we did phone campaigns. And we try to do different events. We have Facebook chapters of different cities for app, and we can do a lot of activities, lot of events to create awareness, to raise funds. And moreover, we provide suggestions, ideas for better policy making and governance. Recently we had 2 great leaders. One was Prithvi, who is a national executive member of Aam Admi Party. He was here for some other purpose, but he gave time to listen to us and to our ideas, to what new things we can suggest. Then we have Mr. Yogendra Yadav, Professor Anand Kumar, who are having Google Hangout with all the different chapters and try to listen us out that what we can give to the new government, what solution we can provide. We have given years of our service to different professions. So what we have that can be helpful for providing solution to the system. That is it. These are the things we are involved in.
Actually, there are a lot of folks trying to get their questions who are listening online. They're sending us questions via chat. So we want to get to as many as possible. So we're going to ask all the panelists to keep your answers really short and try to at least. So my next question I want to ask to Kiran. Maybe it's a generic question for everybody, but I'll ask you to begin with. Okay. Specifically from your side as a person, you are spending a lot of time, which not many people will do for something out of your job, and you probably have a family and a full-time job. You are spending all this time on TDP activities. Personally, what are you trying to get out of it? Do you want a party seat, or do you want some support when they come to power, and maybe when you want to take up a project or something like that? What is that you are looking forward to?
No, sir. I don't have any political ambitions, and I don't have any business ambitions too. So my background is pure communist background. I believe in my hard work for my family. I said my activities for Telugu Desam Party has to do a lot with what Chandrababu Naidu has done during his tenure, like Janmabhoomi Karyakramam or Prajalu Vataka Palana, or what are all policies we have implemented during his rule. Those are the things which I was impressed with, and those are the things which I want them to be coming back. That's the only motive I have. I don't have any political ambition or anything to do with any kind of a power. So, like a power, with great power comes great responsibility. That's something which I believe in. And like I'm ready for responsibility, maybe yes, but I'm not carving for it. And with the way that the current politics is going, I don't see a chance at all. I don't see myself having a chance. Not just me, but anybody who honestly wants to do anything, he will not have a chance until we change and we fix some things. We need to fix a lot of things in Indian election scenarios and all. Like I said, the basic thing which says election commission allowing an MP candidate to spend 16 lakhs per constituency is bull. Like I said, it is not at all just. A common man, how can you expect a common man to raise 16 lakh rupees in a constituency and expect him to spend 16 lakhs and expect him to be honest? We don't have an honest system there. The system needs to be changed.
But 16 lakhs is, that's not even, nobody's even talking about 16 lakhs, right? It's probably a few crores.
Right. I'm talking about the legal terms. I can't talk about the illegal terms. Like say illegally, like say for each constituency, for a corporator, a small corporator, it costs you 1.6 to 1.8 crores. For an MLA candidate, it costs you about say 5 to 6 crores. If you are looking at an MP, you need to spend at 7 constituencies. That means you have to spend about 20 crores. This is the current rate going on in Andhra Pradesh, and I'm sure that, let's say, more or less it will be same all across India. With that much of expenditure.
Okay, so you are saying your personal motivation. You just want to see things get better. That's why you are. But you don't want anything else. Is what you are saying. Right?
Yeah. Like say, I would like it to be changing overnight, but there are no overnight changes. The changes have to be gradual. They have to be absorbed. The system has to absorb them. The system has to evolve with it. If the system is not evolving, then we have issues. So I believe Chandrababu Naidu can do those small changes and make sure that it is back in track. Okay. He's my best buck. So he's my best buck to be back in power.
So the next question is for Dinesh Agarwalji. This is a question coming from our listener, online listener. His name, it says LG, and he's from Jersey. So it's a kind of a big question. I'll just read it out. Question to BJP supporter: how do you reconcile from want of clean governments in India and also supporting one of the corrupt parties, BJP? BJP may not be as corrupt as Congress, but is equally there. Recent example of Karnataka. Then he says Modi is the leader of BJP, so he cannot be seen separate. Why should a neutral NRI support BJP or Modi?
Well, that's a
Then,
very...
there is also a follow-up question from Hemant. Hemant is from La Crosse, Wisconsin. He's saying, let's realize the fact that our politics have gone from evil less to lesser evil and hope for revert in this. So, Dinesh Agarwalji, your response, please.
Yeah, I will try my best to answer. This is a very relevant, pertinent, important question in the current scenario, whatever is happening in India.
Right, but please try to be within a minute or so, sir.
Yeah, the entire political system in India is corrupt. That everybody knows. The previous speaker also mentioned that to change the entire corrupt system, you have to change the system. The party, one party cannot do it. You have to do entirely, the entire India. The Gangotri of corruption is Congress party. Congress party has ruled almost 95% of the time, and they did not remove the corruption. They made the system corrupt. So it doesn't matter which party comes. In the beginning, it will become little bit corrupt. BJP is also corruption is there, but whenever there was corrupt person there, they removed it, took the strong action. They did not defend it. And you know the Gujarat is corruption free. And many other states there is no corruption wherever BJP is ruling. Only in Karnataka, when they found out some corruption done by Yediyurappa, they immediately removed him. So that is the difference between BJP and Congress. In Congress, the whole party from top to bottom is corrupt. So you cannot expect anything better from Congress. So you have to choose between the person who is the starting point of the corruption, the Gangotri, and some people who became now a little bit corrupt, but they are committed to remove the corruption, to become corruption free and everything. So that is the difference between Congress and BJP.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Corporate funded media is driven by the TRP rating, and profits are blurring the distinction between news and entertainment. Why do our news channels talk so much about cricket, movies, accidents, popular figures' personal lives, babies of heroines, gossips, etc., while they should be covering the struggles of people, inequality in our society, rural issues, and border security issues? Why did our media raise some corruption crusaders to the sky on one day and shut them off completely when graft charges were raised on those corporate sponsors? Media relies so much on the corporate funding and government blessings that they cannot report independently. NRI Samay is different. We don't accept funds from any corporations, and hence our shows are commercial free. We completely rely on donations from you. Please consider donating to NRI Samay, and please go to nrisamay.com and donate generously. This is the only way together that we can continue NRI Samay. All donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com. And if you have any questions, please write to nrisamay@gmail.com.
Okay, sir. We have Rohit on the call. He's actually from NRI Samay team itself. He wants to ask a question. Rohit, give me 1 second. Let me put you on line. Yeah, you can go ahead and ask.
Hello?
Rohit, please ask your question.
Yeah. I have a question to Dinesh Agarwalji.
Yes.
Just now Dinesh Agarwalji said that BJP is a bit less corrupt and less evil. But I don't know why people are not focusing on the corruption is, the exploitation is as dangerous as corruption. If we look into the BJP ruling states like, Chhattisgarh, where the exploitation levels are not even, we cannot even count the level of exploitation there. And if we look into the Narendra Modi and the Gujarat, we can't even talk about the basic human rights of certain sections of society. So what's the big difference between Congress and BJP?
Well, I don't know what.
Why should we choose BJP or Congress?
I don't know how you can say that in Gujarat there is no human rights or anything. I don't understand. This is all wrong information you are getting. I have never seen anybody there who is complaining. I don't know whether you have visited Gujarat or not, the best thing is if you go and visit Gujarat yourself and then find out your opinion. Don't go on the basis of the opinion of Modi baiters who have been running a small-scale industry and making a lot of money to, anti-Modi program. They are doing. You go there and find out, and if you want to see those people who have done it, I will send you this very recent reports which were prepared by Madhu Kishwar, who is no friend of Modi or BJP or anything. She is a journalist and she has been doing for last 6 months first-hand investigation about these reports about the Gujarat riots, post-Godra riots, and all these kinds of things which you are mentioning about Gujarat. And she has come out very factual information in series of articles. And if you go to manushi.com, that is the organization she represents, and there she has been putting these Modi namas. They are saving of these Modi namas on different aspects. So that will give you the factual information on the ground in Gujarat. So I don't agree with you that there is no human rights and all these kinds of things in Gujarat. That is not true.
Okay, excellent. I want to go back to what specifically NRIs are doing and how they are organizing. Sravanthi, let me ask you this question. So People for Loksatta is a US registered organization, and Loksatta Party is obviously an Indian political party. So can you tell, and we have TDP wing, which is not even a registered organization in US, and I don't think they have officially TDP wing in Telugu Desam party itself. And we have AAP, which on the other side, they are the official party wing of Aam Admi Party is what I understand. They are not, I don't think they are a registered organization in US. I can be wrong. But Sravanthi, can you tell what's the big difference, or is there an advantage or a disadvantage in organizing like this, or why PFL is a separate organization in US?
Sure, Srihari. So PFL is, it's an organization set up to support Loksatta, but then it does not really have to incline, everything. With, for example, like if you take NRI voting rights, this is not an agenda of Loksatta Party, because Loksatta Party, though it's an agenda, it's not a priority for Loksatta Party, right? Because Loksatta Party, it mainly focuses on empowering citizens to bring them into democracy, and then decentralization, then providing a caste-free, nepotism-free, corruption-free government. These are like some of the priority things for Loksatta. So People for Loksatta, it concentrates mainly on the NRI, NRI agenda items, plus and also the development supporting Loksatta Party. So by NRI agenda items, like what I mean is like NRI voting rights. This is something we do. Like for example, like if you see, we don't even have, as NRIs, we don't even have like a proper procedure like in other countries to go and vote in the elections. Right, like they have recently passed up some bill, but it's a toothless bill. It's because they are asking us to go to India, like spend $2,000 and like go to India and do it, which is not going to happen. So in order to like give a voice for these kind of concerns, we definitely need an organization in US or like outside India to speak up rights for the NRA. So that is the main agenda for People for Loksatta. And also, like when it comes to funding, I'm not sure how the other organizations are doing it, but as per the rules of the Election Commission of India, we have a rule that Indian political parties, they cannot accept any money from non-Indian citizens. So Loksatta Party never takes any money from non-Indian citizens. People for Loksatta, being an US-based organization, registered organization, we usually spend that kind of money only in the US-related activities. So in order to separate the NRA interests from the Indian interest, we have like these two separate organizations.
Right. So when you get fundraising for Loksatta Party, then you ask them to go to Loksatta Party website, and if they're US citizens,
exactly.
then they
We do not mix both, because we strictly follow the election commission rules. Like, we do not take any kind of donations from non-Indian citizens, and that is how Loksatta Party works.
Okay, great. I want to ask Kiran. Kiran, so you don't have an official or an organized wing here in US. So how do you gather the energy from all the TDP supporters, and what are your plans as an NRI community for TDP supporters do for 2014 elections or any upcoming local elections, or how do you organize yourselves?
We do a lot of support initiatives from here to Telugu Desam Party in India. We do raise money, but we don't give the money to straight away to the party or anything like that. We make sure that we do some kind of a charitable events back in India, like NTR Sujala water scheme program, or giving some empowering physically handicapped people by giving them the necessary tools and all that. And we make sure that the local TDP people or the TDP candidate or in charge is involved in it, so that he gets some mileage out of it. But it's more towards the charitable event. And we also provide a lot of tactical support or strategical support, saying that these are the things which will work in India, these are the things which will not work in India. Let's regroup on this, let's discuss this, and then we sort out some ideas. Nara Lokesh has created a small engagements group in which things can be worked out, and things can be discussed, and he will take up all those things, whichever are all the thought processes which we come up with, and he will make sure that the party is hearing them. So there's a two-way communication going on right now between NRIs here and then the Telugu Desam Party back in India. We have a good dialogue going on, and we make sure that some things which are our concerns are heard, and then Srivastava Naidu is taking active part in it. For example, a friend of mine has gone to India and he participated in Padayatra. At least 3 or 4 people have participated in Padayatra for 10 to 15 days, and they were with Agarwal Naidu, and Srivastava Naidu was asking them, what do you think, what are the ideas and all that? One of my friends suggested that in Mehboob district, the water is a major problem. That's when he declared that NTR Sujala program, which will give pure water to all people, and then Mehboob will be the pilot project for that. So we are giving active suggestions, opening local industries and all that, agricultural-based industries for each district. That's something which NRIs have an idea, and NRIs gave an idea to. So we are supporting party in whichever way we can. That's all I can say.
Okay, I let Sravanthi ask a question because she just notified me that she has a question. So go ahead, Sravanthi.
Hey, Kiran, I just have one question here. So previously, when we were talking about fundraising, you were mentioning that, 16 lakhs is a very tough money for a candidate, a common man to raise. So that's the reason why, we NRIs need to help out, right? So, but now, by the kind of activities that you are mentioning, it sounds more like services as freebies for votes. Instead of giving out money directly, it sounds like, TDP is providing services as freebies. Can you please clarify that a little bit?
Ma'am, Telugu Desam Party believes in Janmabhoomi Karyakramam. What Janmabhoomi says is, if you give 30% of the money to the municipality, the municipality will spend 70% and get some things done. This is an actual plan which worked in Andhra Pradesh for 5 years. And
so why do people need to give money to the government or government-related plans? That's what I don't understand.
The unfortunate part is, I understand that we have a 1,62,000 crores budget, out of which is not an actual number. According to the financial analyst, the actual number will be somewhere right around 110,000, 110 lakhs or something like that, which is very much lower than what AP needs right now. There are lots of government initiatives which are not running the way they should have been. There are still a lot of villages in Andhra Pradesh which doesn't have proper drinking water. So let's say a lot of NRIs whom I know, they spend 2 lakh rupees, and the government gives them some money, and then they do that water distribution system in each of the villages. They are working on it, and it's a work in progress. And this is something which is not done as Telugu Desam Party, but this is something which is done as an NTR Trust. NTR Trust does these activities. So those are the way. That's where we spend our money in. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
We have a question. I want to encourage folks on the panel to ask each other's questions, but I want to quickly ask a question from the listener. His name is Anunya, and I think it's she, Anunya. Is it such a difficult thing to build an online portal wherein NRIs can vote from US or UK or wherever they are, specifically looking at a huge successes that Indians have achieved in the global organizations in software aspect? Probably it's not only the will that isn't capitalizing somehow.
Srihari, I don't think it will work. No, but for basic reason, voting from here on a portal, you need your identity and all that. You need to create your identity. Those identities can be compromised. A lot of things need to be involved. India as a country doesn't need this 1% or 2% votes from NRIs. India as a country needs Indians to vote. We have 98% of Indians in India itself, and they are ready to vote. All they need is a proper thought process, thinking process, to understand what needs to be done, whom needs to be voted, and all that. We as an NRI should help them as a think tank, and rather than fighting for our own rights. That's my perspective.
Okay, I want to let Rashmi also talk about this a little bit. Rashmi, you have any other different idea on this?
Regarding NRI portal, online portal, I think it is a complex matter.
On a portal. Suppose you are building websites for Aam Admi Party, right? That's what you mentioned. One of the things you do is software development. So can you imagine a website?
Yeah, I understood your point.
Go ahead.
I think it is a very complex matter, and I think we need a good panelist to decide over it. We cannot just answer this question. It is not that simple. And secondly, I would like to make it clear that any non-resident Indian who is here with a valid passport can donate for any party. It is as per the law of Indian Constitution and Election Commission. Because suppose if I am here for just 1 year or 2 years or 6 months, then I have full right to participate for anything that is Indian, isn't it? It is my right. So we can donate. So I wanted to make that point clear.
Okay.
And secondly, I would like to Dinesh made a point that just one person or one party cannot bring a change. We need a complete change of the system. So Aam Admi Party is calling for that complete change of the framework. Till date, we have been dependent on a particular party or a particular person. We are not providing a framework which takes care of all such things like corruptions, accountability, transparency. That is the thing that Aam Admi Party is working on. So I wanted to make that point also. And secondly,
I want to let
one more.
Let me. Okay, go ahead.
Regarding participatory democracy, around the world we have participatory democracy. So why can't India move from representative democracy to participatory democracy? And Aam Admi Party is encouraging it. From now it's encouraging. It is asking people to send their suggestions, their ideas. So anyone can send them. Like we have contact at aamadmiparty.org where they can send their ideas, their policies, their suggestions, anything.
Okay. I want to move to Sravanthi and let her talk a little bit on this because I know she passionately campaigned for NRI voting rights. So give us a very a 30-second brief comment on this. But I want to move, after that I want to move to a very important question that it's personally bugging me for a long time. So Sravanthi, go ahead.
Sure, Srihari. I think India can do it. If France can do it, why not India? I mean, India has technologically, in terms of software development or like any other technological efforts, like India is like today one of the leading, countries in the world. And if France government, it can do an internet polling or internet thing for its NRIs, why not India? I think it's very much doable, and it is a responsibility of every Indian, and especially in forums like this, we need to push for it, and we need to ask for it, and we need to demand the government to give us NRI rights, a doable solution for NRI rights, and internet voting is one of the perfect solutions, and I think we should all demand for it.
So, let me put one point on that. On the humorous side, we are fighting in India with the Election Commission stating that the EVMs which we are using are technically weak and they are getting tampered and they are supporting some other party. If an EVM is having an issue, imagine the problems with online voting.
Oh, here is the thing, Kiran. I mean, problems will be everywhere. I mean, what Election Commission needs to do is like take in consideration of all the problems and develop a system that is foolproof or that cannot be broken. Because if other countries are doing it, like why not India? That's the question.
Do we have online voting in United States?
In United States we don't, but in France we do have it. And for India, postal is not something we can rely on. Like US, as you know, it uses postal form ballot, but in India it's not possible because it reaches late to India.
According to the Election Commission, the first vote count will happen from the EVMs or the boxes, and then if there is a tie, then they will consider postal ballots. And if there is a tie in postal ballots, then they will consider your whatever NRI voting rights and all that. That's my understanding. I may be totally wrong. That's my understanding.
No, but here is the thing though, as like, I am a citizen of India. Like, I am like doing all the duties as a citizen of India. To all the properties I have in India, I'm paying taxes. Okay, but I am not being given a right to vote, like which is like the basic right to vote as a citizen of India. That is really bugging me, and that's the reason why I want this to be done. I mean, Election Commission may have its own reasons, but it should eventually it should, like if not now, from 5 years on, for the next election at least, we need to do this. We want this to be done. So that's the reason why I'm saying that we need to support it from now on, so that it will happen in the future. It may not be for 2014 elections, but say 2019. But this is the path we should go.
Right. I think the point is, one thing I think we'll all agree is, if they have online voting or even Facebook voting, something like that, they will get a lot more votes, is I think what we can all agree. But obviously the first priority is to have a safe and secure and non-fake real votes, is I think we'll all agree that that's the first priority, then getting the extra votes. Right. But let me move to the next question. Maybe anybody can answer. Suppose you all are working either for BJP or Loksatta or TDP or Aam Admi Party. There are guys across these parties who are really good and really honest, right? I mean, we can brand one party as a corrupt, but even if you take Congress, some people are incredibly good and they are doing a lot of work and they are winning honestly and they are doing service for the common man. So if you come across such a person, and can you, as NRIs, which is a minority group when you compare to Indian politics, can you find such people and try to encourage them, try to support them, instead of supporting a party which you may or may not have control over what they do as a larger organization? So we'll start with Dinesh Agarwal. Give us a very quick briefly. I don't think we probably lost Dinesh, so maybe we'll go to Rashmi ji. Can you tell us?
Yeah, I can support any good candidate if he is ready to be responsible towards the people. If he is ready to bring Jan Lokpal, if he is ready to bring chartered citizen, I'm ready to support any person who is good for the people. Being good means providing solution to the people. If you are good in politics, it means providing solution to the people. So I can support any person who looks after these problems of the system in the country and provides a solution.
Okay,
so
great.
whether he belongs to Congress or BJP, it doesn't matter.
But you are specifically supporting Aam Admi Party, right? So you are saying if somebody comes across, then you will support that guy, even if he's a Congress guy. And
and if he's ready
the point is, if he wins, then if he wins, even if he's a good guy, he's helping Congress to come into power. So that's the dilemma we are having. So maybe
anybody comes into power. But if we get these mechanisms, right to recall, Jan Lokpal, these mechanisms where we get participatory democracy, that is the agenda. Our agenda should be given importance, not the party. If party is ready to reach out to the problems of the people, the last person in India, then I'm ready to vote for anyone who is good.
So here is the thing. So in 2014 elections.
Agenda is more important than any political party.
Right. So here is the thing. In 2040 elections, Congress has an agenda, Aam Admi Party has an agenda, and Telugu Desam, Loksatta, they all have agendas, right? Now, they're all good in one way or the other because they all want to, at least on the agenda, they want to help the people. Now, you have individual candidates who is saying, hey, I want to support Jan Lokpal bill if it comes to the table, but he's in Congress party. Now, are you going to support him? I'm talking about 2014 elections specifically. We know where Congress stands and where BJP stands and where AAP stands and all. So if a Congress person is an honest guy, he is electing, suppose he is in your constituency. So are you going to vote for him or do you campaign for him?
I cannot trust Congress. For 2014, I cannot trust Congress. Because
but the candidate is good guy. But the candidate is really good. That's what we are talking about.
Yeah, but
very good candidate in a party which you don't support.
Yeah, but the party as a whole is not intending to bring this particular agenda, isn't it? And we have seen those. In past 2 years, we have seen that. The party is not willing to bring. So even if he is good, he won't be bringing this onto the table.
Right, but as an Aam Admi Party, you are supporting decentralization and you are saying local problems should be solved at local level. But now we are saying there's a good local guy. If he wins, he will solve the local problems. But you are not ready to vote for him just because he is in a different party, right?
For 2014
I don't want to put you in a corner, but it's a dilemma that people might face. That's why
at least I would do this, but I'm not saying this as a party person. I'm saying this as a individual person. That for 2014, I cannot trust. I cannot put my trust onto any other political party because Aam Admi Party and I have to fully concentrate on Aam Admi Party and its agenda and making it win, so that we see the results of what it is trying to bring. So for 2014 elections, and we have been cheated so many times by the same party. And today, party is working. All the members of the party are working towards the party leader. So we cannot trust them at this position. When we have that framework, when they have to work for the people, then I think I will trust any person across any party line who have good agendas.
Okay, great. I'll let Kiran talk about it. What is your thoughts, Kiran?
I think we need to have some kind of a scoring mechanism where we measure how to vote in the coming elections. We can't just vote on our own agendas or on our own things. Like I said, there are a lot of things which we need to consider. And administration, and local administration, the local leadership, how accessible is the local leader, easy putting up your rights, easy fighting for your rights at a proper level or not, easy, honest. These are all the things which we need to consider. Like I say, agendas are something which are created by people. They are not. So people are more important. We need to make sure that our local leader and our state leader, they are in alignment and they know what we need as a person in this constituency. And it's time, I think, Indians need to rise up and say, you know what, we have been independent for 65 years now, for 65 odd years now, and we still don't have the basic necessities. So let's cut down some of our needs and make sure that some of the needs of the needed are fulfilled. Like I said, we need to be considerable to a fellow citizen in India. That's something which we are lacking. We are always demanding I, me, myself. That's where most of the issues are coming. Let's say whenever my assembly constituent or my MLA is going to the assembly, I want him to fight for my rights. That's not how we should be thinking. We should be thinking in a much more broader perspective. We should be thinking in a much more advanced perspective where we understand what, as a nation, we need. Let's say that's something which we are lacking, and that's something where we are missing a lot. If we start thinking as a state, as a country, then I don't think India can be stopped, which is lacking, which we are lacking a lot. So we need to have a scoring mechanism.
I'll let Sravanthi also respond to that question.
I only have one motto, Srihari. I mean, as Loksatta Nation President JP always says, it's always party above a person and country above the party. So if in taking the interests of the country or the locality or whatever, like if it's above, you have to always put it above the party and encourage bipartisan politics. Like, for example, Loksatta has previously done this, like where, Congress has introduced a scheme, Rajiv Yuva Kiranalu, the Congress government has introduced it. So we worked with them and we showed them the flaws inside the scheme, and then we worked out with them, and we have shown that the negative points in that, and we have come up with a very good result. I mean, even CM Kiran Kumar Reddy has yielded to it. And also, if you take Arogyasri, we have always criticized what is bad in it and what needs to be added to it, and we had always been open to work with the Congress government on that, and similarly with any other government. So bipartisan politics is something that Loksatta has always supported, and even me as a person, I would definitely, if I have to work with a person from Congress or TDP or Aam Admi or any other party, I'll be more than open to work, because, like I said, the interest of the people is always more than a party.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. If you have any interesting episode you would like NRI Samay to cover, we will be happy to do so. NRI Samay would also like to encourage amateur journalists who have a flair for highlighting current events. You can be part of our citizen journalist team. You could cover an important event, interview victims of an atrocity, or document an inspirational story. The idea is to have a mix of experience throughout all parts of the world, preferably supported by an audio or a video clip of your story to be aired, which will be the curtain raiser. You can also submit your opinion articles on important topics to NRI Samay. We will be happy to put it on nrisamay.com in the opinion section. All your work will be credited only to you. And if you're interested, please send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com.
Okay, great. So we have a question from Pradeep. I think it's relevant to what we are talking right now. He says he picked on TDP, but I think it goes across several parties. He says if you go to myneta.info and if you look up TDP, then you will find people who has criminal records. Now, then how are you going to campaign or support for such a party? Then we're talking about pretty much all the major parties, right? So I'll let Kiran respond.
Criminals in politics have always been part of it. In fact, if you look at it, the bigger the crime, the bigger the position you get. Unfortunately, that's very true. But as a TDP party supporter, I feel bad for it whenever there's a criminal associated with the party. But but the problem is with the judicial system. Until the judicial system is totally fixed, where judicial system is taking an action, a time-bound action on anybody, a political party cannot be blamed for it. I said that the problem is judicial system takes too long a time to decide on a case. When the judgment is very late, by the time a lot of mistake has already been done in the party, that's where the issue is. And I feel sorry for it. I wholeheartely feel that shouldn't be the case.
But the bigger question, Kiran, is you want to have as many people as possible to vote for your party, and you want to motivate them to go on to the polling booth and vote for you, right? And you have these corrupt people, one or two people or maybe more on the tickets. And now, how is that guy? He's not going to think about judicial process and all that stuff. He's going to think, why is this party giving seats for corrupt people or criminal people? And so purely from getting votes point of view, shouldn't the party say, you know what, I want to appeal to the people and motivate them to go and vote for me? So how does that come into play?
Srihari, I understand where you're coming from, but like I said, it is definitely a mistake. But like I said, the problem is we as an independent country, we still have not, like I said, put in a system where we can consider a person. Like I said, I do have a legal background also. We can't consider anybody as culprit until he is proven guilty. Like I said, even Jagamohan Reddy is not guilty to that point. He is just charged. Like I said, a politician who is charged and contesting, I don't have a problem. But a politician who is convicted and then contesting, I see a problem there. And I believe TDP is doing the first thing, as of now at least. But I sincerely say, I won't support it. If there's a criminal or there's a convict which is contesting from my constituency, I will not support him, even though he's
if he's from TDP.
TDP seat, yes. Okay. I can go on record for that.
So I think, Srihari, the point here, this is Sravanthi. I think the point here is like even more than the people with criminal records coming in. The other problem we have is like nepotism. I think it is like very heavily present in the traditional parties, even local and national, like where we see sons, daughters, and son-in-laws, nephews of all these like people like coming in and then leading the party instead of like giving youth the platform, like their own family is taking the limelight and then proceeding. I think that is also like one biggest problem that we need to address. Like we as NRIs and educated people, we need to definitely oppose. That's
Madam,
also like one thing.
But madam, by nepotism, we can't obstruct anybody from contesting in an election. Nepotism, as I said, just because Lokesh happens to be Chandrababu Naidu's son doesn't mean he can't contest election. If he is capable and if he proves hold on. Like if he is capable and if he is going around the people and if he is contesting, then like I said, then it's his career choice. Like I say, we can't say a doctor's son cannot become a doctor. That's as simple as politics too. In politics, it doesn't guarantee.
Right. In doctor, though, like we have a degree, right? Like people spend 4 years, 5 years, and then get a degree.
Yes, ma'am. I do understand. Just because you're a son of somebody doesn't guarantee you an election. It helps you with the election, but it doesn't guarantee you. It's the same way as a doctor's son getting a doctor degree. A doctor will help him which way to go, what to do, and all that. Like say, an IT, like say, I can help my brothers coming to United States with the ways of to come here. Can I get them a job? Maybe yes. Can I have them survive in the job? No.
But that's the whole point, right? A doctor's son is not becoming a doctor, but today if we see all politicians' sons are becoming, the leaders of the party. But if you see like the same thing that happens to some 30-year-old guy, like, as old as Lokesh and showing as much interest as, Lokesh, who happens to be the son of Chandrababu Naidu. So for him to come to the position of like a CM or a position of, any leading position that takes him like at least 30 years. If we see like today,
it's a difficult part. It's a difficult part, but it's not a breakable part. Chandrababu Naidu did not become Chief Minister because he was son of somebody. He became Chief Minister because...
Same with, not just Chandrababu Naidu. I think it's the same thing with Akhilesh Yadav, who came as a CM of...
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, same with Rashekar Reddy, same with everybody. I think, this also should be explained.
No, a lot of politicians have come because of their passion towards people. They did not come just because they were sons of somebody. I agree with your point saying that like it helps, but it helps only to a certain extent. You can be successful only to a certain extent just because you're a son of somebody. And after that, you need to prove your mettle. So there are lots of widows back in India, back in Andhra Pradesh who have contested because her husbands have expired. And about 90% of them did not even survive the next election.
Right, because they're not widows of NTR, that's why.
No. Let's say Janki Ramchandran, who is MG Ramchandran's wife. She couldn't stand up and deliver. If you
See, the
can't
point
deliver,
is
you
she
will go.
contesting itself is a problem,
I
right?
would like to say one thing.
No.
Kiran, I would like to say one thing.
Okay,
When it is
we'll let
helping
Rashmi
someone-
talk.
Yeah, just one thing. That
Rashmi,
if
go
it is
ahead.
helping someone, if it is facilitating someone, it means it is taking that facilities from someone else, isn't it? If we are
It's
that
not
is the
facilities, madam.
and
It's
that
not
is the
facilities,
main
madam.
problem we are seeing today. Suppose Rahul
No,
Gandhi is
ma'am.
not that
It's
capable.
not facilities. No, it's not facilities. I said.
It is facilities. See, today we see that a lot of promotions are being done for Rahul Gandhi. Is he capable? No, he is not. But still he is getting all those facilities, all those promotions.
There are two
because
sides of this coin. Madam, there are two sides of this coin. One side is the rosy picture where they get an easy ticket. The second side is the people blame them for everything. Like say Abhishek Bachchan, he cannot be superstar just because he is Amitabh Bachchan's son. He had to strike.
He does not affect our life. He does not affect our life as a politician.
Same is the case with Rahul Gandhi. The people who appreciate Rahul Gandhi as a leader are not even 25% in the whole India. The people who bring back him is more. So he has to go through lots of pains to get that acceptance level.
Right, but that's the whole key point.
We want to move to the...
See, we have seen...
I think I'll move to the next thing. I think you guys made good arguments on both sides. One is basically, I think we're all agreeing that if it's a son or a daughter of a politician, then they have an easy access to all the resources and they have a better chance, much better chance. Not only chance, it's a reality that most of the young people now in parliament or assembly, they are relative of a politician. So it is a fact. So, and the second thing is they still have to prove, they still have to fight, is what Kiran is saying. So I want to move to the next point, which is probably the last one that we'll do because we actually are over our time. I'll start with Rashmi because there's a question from a listener, is LG. So he's asking, suppose if somebody wants to volunteer for Aam Admi Party or for Delhi elections, what is the channel, especially for an NRI? And I'll ask the same questions to Sravanthi and Kiran also.
Yeah, for NRI, USA NRI, we have a helpline number that is 50555 Admi AADMI, and we also have a Gmail account where he can mail and we can get in touch and help him out. So the mail ID is Aam Admi Party USA at gmail.com. Okay. And for AAM, Aam AADMI USA at gmail.com.
Okay, great. But quickly tell in 30 seconds what exactly, when they send the email, what happens? So how are they going to get engaged?
So we get in touch with him. We add him to our group. We have Facebook group of Aam Admi Party USA, and we discuss with him that what are the different areas where he can help us with, whether he can help us in software development, whether he can help in donation, in creating awareness, in reaching out to media, etc. And that is the way we align with any volunteer.
Okay, great. Sravanthi, can you tell how, if somebody wants to support Loksatta Party, what they can do?
Sure, Srihari. They can send an email to info@loksattaparty.org, or they can join us on Facebook page, which is Facebook/Loksatta. So there's an official Loksatta Party page, so look for the official page. And then if the person is an NRI, they can always send an email to info@peopleforloksatta.org. It's info@peopleforloksatta.org. And as soon as they email us, depending upon their interests and also the chapter that we have around 34 chapters, across the world. So out of them, 28 of them are in USA, and so depending upon what chapter they fall into, the chapter president will contact them, and then we will engage them in various activities depending upon his or her interest. Also, we'll also if they're interested or they're Indian citizens, we'll also put them in the India-related activities, like I was talking about, constituency promotion program and others. So depending upon the interest.
Okay, excellent. Same question to you, Kiran. If somebody wants to support Telugu Desam Party, he or she is an NRI, what do you recommend them?
We do have a Facebook page, NRI TDP USA. We do have an NRI website too. I'm not really big on the NRI website or activism.org website. I'm more working on NRI TDP USA Facebook group where we discuss each and every constituency, the problems of the constituency and the strategies for the constituency and what motives of how TDP has to progress in the coming elections. We do have that page. It's a closed group, but yeah, if you send in a request and and then we can accept it, and then you can participate in the discussions, and then those discussions are also being observed by at least like 15 to 16 MLAs from in India and some party leaders. Some of the key contributions go directly to the Chandrababu Naidu or Lokesh or the main leaders, so that those will be acted upon. So that's one way of doing it. Like we have NRI TDP Dallas group and Atlanta group. We have Detroit group. We have New Jersey group. We have lots of individual groups also. You can participate in those groups also. Yeah.
Before I wrap up the show, I want to thank all of you, Kiran, Rashmi, Dinesh, and Sravanthi. But I also want to mention that we try to reach other parties, but because this is a really, really short notice and some of you got calls at midnight to join, and we tried to reach TRS and Congress also, but they couldn't join us on the show because of the short notice. So thank you very much, and I hope you all had fun as much as I do. And thanks for our listeners. And we'll put this entire show on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/NRI Samay, then you can watch all our shows, all our previous shows there. I also want to mention that NRI Samay is a non-profit independent radio channel. Today our mainstream media is all sponsored by corporations, so they can never talk about anything bad about their sponsors, so which is pretty obvious. So they rely on the corporations and the state media, and so they cannot tell you complete truth. But NRI Samay is not like that. We depend on your contributions, so we don't have any dependencies like our corporate media does. So please support us, then we can do more good. And if you have any suggestions, send an email to nrisamay@gmail.com or go to our website nrisamay.com. So thank you, friends, and thanks everybody for joining today.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Srihari.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.